Hello, everybody. Andrew Taylor here. Today, I have the privilege of having two guests on, Erica Walker.
What's up, guys?
What's up? And we have Rebecca Hamilton.
Hey guys.
Erica, you've been working with Rebecca for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some things you shared with me. One, she went from car sales
Yep.
to full time. And then can you tell us just a little bit about her, like what you've seen in her? And then we're going to learn from your transition that you made.
Yeah, honestly, I've been hiring and training for a while. And she honestly was one of the very few people that was the most determined agent I've worked with in a long time. Especially somebody coming from a full-time job. It's really hard. She's a single mom, has a little one at home, adopted her cousin's baby, taking care of him, working a full-time job and working FFL. I was blown away, honestly, at her results. She was getting results as a very part-time agent that most full-time agents get. Extremely coachable, just where there's a will, there's a way. And it was honestly, I was blown away with what she did in such a short period of time very quickly.
Awesome.
Thank you, Erica.
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
Sometimes I say like some people just have this burning desire to win,
Yeah.
and you actually have to have that in order to make it in commission only sales. What was that like? What was driving you to do that?
100%. Like, I have always known that I wanted to be a mom. And when Noah came into my life, that's my little guy's name, I just knew that I wanted the best future for him and to be able to be home more and give him the life that he deserves. So he is 100% the reason why I do all that I do. Um, yeah, that's
So you're a
like
single
literally.
mom, and is it adopted?
Yes, so we're getting to the adoption, hopefully in the next 6 months to a year. Yeah. I found out about him. He came home 10 days later, so I had no time to plan like at all. But I believe that God brings, people into your life, situations into your life, and every single thing that I've gone through in my life has just brought me to that. And now to this, like the sky is the limit. I mean, I knew that I wanted more for myself. And being at the dealership, I had positions where I could grow, like go into finance, become desk manager. Like there was a lot of opportunities where I'd have to give up pretty much my freedom to help them grow. Like I wasn't growing for myself. And this job, I can grow for myself. I don't have to work for someone else and make them money, So that's 100% what I want and why I'm here. So
Wow. My uncle Jimmy started selling with us, and
He's a salsa guy?
yeah,
Dude, I need to try that salsa.
you do. We'll get you some
Perfect.
I
salsa.
love salsa, some chips and salsa. Let's go.
Yeah, his salsa is so good. But he ran big companies his whole life, and now he's in his 50s, and he's like, dude, I've made everybody else a bunch of money my whole
Yeah.
life.
That's literally making them hundreds and thousands of dollars.
But I like what you're talking about too, because I didn't get in this for money. I got in this for time
Mm-hmm.
because I saw that I could have my own schedule. And when I worked at the grocery store, it was like, dude, I had to try to get prom night off. Like even when I was that young in high school, I was pushed, they wanted me to push carts on that night. And I'm like, dude, I can't do anything unless
Yeah.
I get approval. I'd like to make my own schedule and do whatever I want.
Well, and especially like sales, grocery stores, car sales, especially like the holidays are like prime season for them.
For real.
Like talk about getting Christmas a week off, like that doesn't happen. Like you're on their watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they book you Christmas.
Yeah. It's
Well,
insane.
thankfully we actually did get holidays off, but I mean, you couldn't take Black Friday off like to go shopping. I haven't gone shopping for Black Friday in 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of dangerous.
And I would
so-
want it. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But those deals though.
Yeah. I'll fight someone for some shoes, okay? I like a good deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wanted to work that day anyways because like in the car business that day is you make a lot of money. Like there's a lot of people that want those deals and so they're coming into the dealership to buy cars. So it was like time and money was definitely my motivation. But like you were saying, being able to have your own schedule is so important, especially when you have children.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what is your schedule with Noah?
So my parents, I've been blessed with my parents. They really stepped up. I was gonna have to pay for childcare, and I had to go back to work. He was almost 6 months old, and I was looking around trying to find somewhere that would take him that I could trust, because I look at him like he's my own child,
Yeah, of
like
course.
for sure. And so my stepdad, he had just started a new job, and he was a flight nurse prior to that, and he would work 3 days a week, pretty much 3 days a pay period. So he went back to that to take care of him for me. So I have Noah full time, 100%, but my parents watch him like
Help.
4 or 5 days a week.
And is that when you work?
Yeah, I work when they have him. Yep. So I try and get up early in the morning on days that I don't have a sitter because I want to grow this and I want to make as much money as I can. So I mean, I try and get my butt up at 6 a.m.
Wait, what time do you get up?
At 6. Yeah.
So you get up at 6.
So I get up at 6. I work until he wakes up, which is usually like 9 or 10. Get to spend the
Ooh.
day with him. So that's like 4 solid hours in the morning of,
Are you calling East Coast?
yeah. hmm
Wow.
Yep. So I started doing East Coast. So I started doing life insurance the middle of March. And I was still at Toyota working like part-time. I was working 4 days a week. I'd worked out a schedule with them. I was working from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. So I would get up, work in the morning on those days. And then on my off days, I would do FFL. I would be working in the morning early and then while he napped and then trying to do it while I had him, which is really hard. I mean, you have kids, tough. They want your attention. And so I did that for like a month and a half. We went to a lock-in in Arizona and I'm like, okay, this is my week of not having any Toyota where I can focus on this and really see if this is something that's sustainable for me. And right after that, that was like a month and a half in. I'm like, I'm going home and I'm telling them that I'm done. Like I can't do both and I want to do this full time. It didn't take very long for me to just
I like what you
want to dive
what you're
in.
this is so important what you're saying though. Like you're getting your work done from 6 to 9 or part of your work. And I've noticed for anyone that has kids on here, like if I say I'm going to get work done and go home, right when I walk in the door, my 3-year-old every single time goes, "Dad, do you want to play animals with me?"
Yeah.
And then
So
I
How do you
can't
say
ever
no?
say no
I
to
know.
that.
Yeah.
So I'm playing animals for last night from like 7 to 10. I played animals, and playing animals is getting little animals. He's got like 1,000 of them and talking to each other like, "Hi, how are you? Hi." And then he goes, "I'm a nice alligator. Want to give me a high five?" And then we have to set them all up. We had to set them all up. There's literally like 1,000 all up to
Oh
watch
my
a movie. So in front of the TV. So they're all lined up to watch a movie. And I'm like, I can never do that again where I say I'm going to do something when I get home because I'm not going to because I'm
Yeah.
not going to say no.
Yep.
That's so
Well, that time
cute.
is so valuable. You're at work all day, you're gone, and that's the time that you get with them too, so you have to be selfish with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
mornings, I mean, being at the lock-in this week, every single top agent is like, I get my butt out of bed at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., get my workout in. Like, I start early.
How do you, what's the secret to getting up early?
Every single night
She has
before
a
I go
very
to-
peaceful alarm.
That too.
We shared a room last night, and this girl's alarm is so like peaceful. I was like, wow. I woke up to, I was like, that is beautiful way to start your day.
One, not pushing snooze also on
Yeah.
top of that, like getting your butt up.
Yeah.
Dude, whoever's in charge wants us to be lazy because the snooze button's so big.
I know.
Like, just don't give us the option to have a snooze button.
I know.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, because you fall back asleep and then your body's like, oh, I need an hour to 2 hours more of sleep. And then, yeah, you
You're
just
screwed.
keep pushing snooze and you might not realize you're pushing snooze because you're so used to doing that. So,
Do you guys sleep good?
Now I do. I feel like the less sleep I'm getting, the better I feel in the morning and the more I'm sleeping,
The
which is weird.
deeper,
Yeah.
maybe the deeper the sleep.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
that's true.
weird.
Because
Do you
when I
guys
when I wake up at 4 a.m., I'm like, let's do this, let's go. But if I like sleep until 7 or 8, so
do you guys
so
fall asleep
lethargic.
easy, or are you thinking about what you have to do the next day?
I fall asleep to my Hallmark channel, so I fall asleep great.
What about you?
I fell asleep pretty easy because when you
You're
get up early,
exhausted.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that kid makes me chase him around the house. So
I
I'm
have this thing like
cutting that out
if
too.
if I have a hard time sleeping, I'll get up at like 4 in the morning, and you can't take a nap. And then the next night, you're like,
Just pass
sleep is
out.
so precious. You're like, oh, I get to sleep.
Yeah.
My friend challenged me to not eat for 2 days, just water and like food. I was like, now I know why people pray over food, because like Factory Fresh was eating a burrito, and I was like, bro, what's in it? What's in the burrito? Remember that, Drew?
I'm dead.
I'm like,
That's so funny.
yeah, he's like, I'm eating a burrito. I'm like, where'd you get it? He's like,
Chipotle.
I was like, what's in it? And then he's like, dude, what's wrong with you?
That's funny.
But yeah, and so that's my little thing that I do, because every once in a while my sleeping pattern will get messed up because I'll sleep in
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm out of routine, so I have to reset it.
It
Yeah.
only takes once to get out of routine too, because then the next day you're like, oh, it's fine. Like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, and
And
then
so
you're out
just
of
being in
routine.
that mindset where you're just like, if you don't do it today, you're probably not going to do it.
You just got to do it, dude. You just got to have the freaking discipline to get your ass out of bed. Really. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Or you have your level up text that you have to actually. Do they text when they wake up?
We
We should do that. That's a
That's
great idea.
that's a good idea. They just text once they've done their morning routines, but some of their morning routines, it's like at 9 o'clock. I'm like, you're just now getting out of bed. They should make it one of those.
Do you do the
requirements.
morning routine?
Yeah.
She's
What
in
is
the group.
it?
Yeah. So we watch a motivational thing on YouTube
For
or
how long?
whatever. 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we put 5 things we're grateful for. And then we do our I am statements in the mirror.
What are your I am statements?
I am beautiful. I am strong. I am successful.
They
The list
change.
goes on. Oh yeah, they definitely change depending on like how my mood when I wake up. Sometimes it's a rough morning. And I
What
don't
do you
wanna get
guys
out
do
of
if you
bed.
have a low mood? Like you're dialing, everything's going good, but you're just like not feeling it. Does that happen to you?
Oh yeah, I put on some Eric Thomas motivational. Dude, that'll get your mindset right.
Does that happen to you daily, weekly?
Weekly, I would say once in a while, or every other week. Sometimes you're going to be kind of in a funk, whether, you're getting run down or you're just, you've had a rough day. Like, don't get me wrong. You can have your routine and some days you're going to feel great. Things are going to go your way. Other days you're going to get hammered on the phones. You're going to stop calling, yelled at, and if you're feeling where you're starting to get a little weak, like I just take a step back and feed your mind. Like put something motivational in your mind so that you're thinking and you're changing that dynamic of what your thoughts are so that you can reset. I always tell agents, hey, you're getting beat up on the phones. Go take a walk, go take a breather, reset, come back and conquer the rest of your day.
I love that. What do you do if you're getting beat up on the phones?
I'll take a break for sure. Oh, I'll take a break and then yeah. Well, I'll read. Sometimes I'll read the Bible just to like get my mind right. I'll pray and, ask God to just show me like why I'm doing this, remind me. And listening to, I have actually on Spotify, I have a whole list of like motivational things that I like to.
Like, and when you read the Bible, do you just open it up randomly, or
I'll pray. I'll ask God to like show me in there like what I need to hear and
open up to a random page?
yeah. Well, no, I'll ask like what chapter
Oh.
like should I open and then
And you'll just pick.
yeah.
Sometimes I'll do that. I'll just
Yeah.
open it to a random page and it's literally like just
Right
what you
in
need
your
to
life.
hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
I've
love
been doing that
those.
so much lately because there are hard days.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're getting towards the end of the month and you're like, gosh, I'm not where I expected I would be. I worked so hard this month and I didn't get where I wanted to be, you know? And then it's like you reevaluate and you're like, okay, but you worked hard. You made your 500 dials a day. People just didn't answer, you know? And maybe you switch up your schedule a little bit the next month and work more evenings. Like I work a lot of day shifts and I've been implementing like evening shifts into my schedule because there are times when I'm doing Pacific Coast and
People
you have
answer
to
in
work
the
in the
evening.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, but how legit is it that you could wake up at 6 and work from 6 to 9?
Amazing. I've started my day, got my day started, maybe made a couple sales, and then I get to spend the rest of the day with my kid.
Is that all you work from 6 to 9?
Only on days when I have, like when I don't have anyone to watch him. The other days, at 4 days a week for sure, I always have someone to watch him. And so I get to work. I usually work from like 8 to 5 on those days.
Wow.
And she was doing that like when she was at Toyota. Like she'd be working, full time at Toyota, and I'd see, her sales go off super early in the morning, 6 a.m., or like 8 p.m. And I'm like, this girl has another job and
Bro,
she's like doing this.
You can't mess with a mom taking care of her kid, though.
That is true. Yeah.
That's like my mom. Like she raised 4 kids, like had no job at one point, no income, and like she figured it all out. And she just gave me all of our like family videos.
Oh.
So there's like, I don't know, 50 family videos. And then Factory Fresh knew a guy that could get them digitized. So they took the VHSs and now they're on my phone,
I
you know?
love that.
And
That's
I'm
so
like,
cool.
dude, she did we had the best childhood, like going
Mhm.
back and rewatching them.
Yeah.
But like, you can't mess with moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't fail because I know I have to make him proud, make myself proud. I don't want him to ever worry about anything.
And him see you winning, and then that
Yeah.
can.
Give him his drive for the future too, you know? I mean, where he came from, I won't even talk about it 'cause it makes me so like want to cry, but like what he came from and the life that I can give him, like I will give him. He deserves it.
So you take that, and then it doesn't matter what the lead types are. It doesn't matter what the schedule is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the toughest time you've had so far in business? Like doing this?
Yeah. So I think that switching from Can I talk about mortgage?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So switching from just doing regular, what I first started on just doing, like term, whole life, just regular final expense. So switching to mortgage was really tough at first because you don't know it. You're learning something new. You got comfortable doing something and you have to learn a whole new script. So that was tough going into that. But I don't feel like it's been that difficult with the transition because I've always worked really hard. I've always showed up and put in 150% effort.
I love how she paused when you asked that question. And honestly, because she's like, what has been the most difficult? But you notice agents, when you ask that question that aren't putting in the work, they come up with an answer right away. Oh, dude, the leads, they're horrible. They were good. Now they suck. Or, oh, I got this charge back. But it's like when somebody's consistently putting in the effort and the dedication and the time and the activity. Yeah, she has bad days. Yeah, learning a new script was difficult, right? But like, it hasn't been that rocky.
Yeah. An old mentor, I used to complain, and he would say, write 10 policies and then call me back and tell me how many of those complaints are still complaints.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And then like
That is good.
100% of them, because I was complaining about business,
Mhm.
would go away
Yeah.
when I would do that. So it's like, dude, I'm over here worried about a lead credit and what this agent said about me, and the leaderboard was messed up. And it's like, dude, go write 10 apps and it all goes away,
Yeah, it's very true.
you know?
Yeah, even one or two, like, you had a bad day yesterday and then the next day you write 3 sales. there's no point in dwelling on it in the moment because you know that you're going to make a sale again. You did it last month. You did it yesterday.
So I used to want to feel like I was always on. And
I
then
think we all do. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, like I wanted to be like euphoric all the time.
Yeah.
And then I realized you don't get to do that. You got to go through the ups and downs in business.
Mhm.
And once you just start to enjoy the ride and go, this is part of it, then it gets easier instead of thinking, why am I not so excited to do this? Like I've wanted to quit doing this hundreds of times, but things that are worth it usually are not that easy,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Mhm. And I think people see, you know, I tell agents, I feel like the insurance industry does, it's like a pro, but it also is a huge disservice, right? Because lawyers, for example, they have to go to school, they have to do internships, they take years and years and years to be able to make the kind of money that they make, right? But for here, r- really, you just have to get your license, study for a class for 20, 40 hours, get your license, and you're dropped into an industry where you can make that your first year if you wanted to, right? So people expect that success right away, but it's like, dude, even if it took you 3 years to make that kind of income, you'd still be ahead of a doctor and a lawyer. And when you put that into perspective, that don't compare, don't anything worth having isn't going to happen overnight. It takes work, and new agents, they come in, it's like basketball players, NBA players. You don't think they just show up on game day expecting to win, shoot the three? No, they spend hours and hours practice outside of practice to master that craft. So why don't we treat insurance
That way.
that way?
Yeah. So a big thing for me and what I see a lot is people compare themselves to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've always heard comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Did you do that at all? Did you go, why is this person getting success and I'm not?
Not really, because like you said, I mean, why compare yourself to someone that's been doing this for 2 or 3 years? I just started. Like, I want to learn from them though. Like teach me what makes you successful in that way.
Yeah. But
I've never compared myself to others. Because my parents they're like, you are your own person, and if anyone was like you or did things the same way as you, you wouldn't be special.
do you have siblings?
I have 5 brothers. Yeah.
5
Oh, wow.
brothers?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me that. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Dang.
No sisters?
No.
Oof.
Wow. Are they older?
So I have a stepbrother that's 2 years older, and then the rest are younger than me.
Oh, they're all younger.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Imagine if they were all older.
Yeah.
They act like they're older now though. They're super protective,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So, like, I always try to look at this because I would chase leaderboards and it would mess me up.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it just needs to be me versus me every day.
Yep.
And then I got a lot of my happiness back, but I also performed way better than I ever did comparing and trying to keep up with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think, the competitive nature, once you kind of reach a level and you kind of see other people, you're just like, oof, I got to be on that leaderboard. I got to move up. Who's the next person I got to, surpass? And I got to a point, if I'm being completely honest, I muted all the leaderboards. Sorry, Grady. I was just like, I was had that competitive nature in me. And when things happened that I couldn't control, or we went backwards a little bit or didn't move up, like that really got to me. And it was like, dude, you got to stop. Like you can control your production, you can control your recruiting habits, your training, but there's sometimes like it's business. You're going to go backwards, you're going to go forward, you're going to stay. And I once I did that, honestly, I'm so much more happier and just like at peace with things. I have my own goals for myself, and not so much comparing what everybody else is doing, and just as like, hey, it's my journey. And dude, I've only been here for what, a year and a half, 2 years. It's like, and we're ahead of the game. There's people that have been here a lot longer than aren't where we are, and I need to be thankful for that and grateful for how far we've come so quickly.
For sure. Yeah, that's huge. All right. So let's say somebody wants to do this, but they're not sure. What advice would you give them? Like they're kind of on the edge. They don't like what they're doing, but it's stable. What advice would you guys give them?
No risk, no reward.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was scared. So my best friend, she's in the industry. She's my upline. She started doing this and she crushed it. And she's like, you got to do this with me. And I'm like, show me that this is sustainable. I can't leave this job that I have that I've been at for 8.5 years
In a
for
half
something.
years.
Yeah. For something that I don't know is for sure. Like I saw the leaderboards. I started following Erica. I started looking into it and I'm like, there's no way. That's not real. You can't make that kind of money. There has to be a catch. No way. And so she had like a killer month. And I was like, fine, I'll get my license. I'll see what it's all about. I probably won't quit Toyota. Like, there's no freaking way. And then I got my license. I started selling. And I was like, this is real. Like, you can do this. This business it's not fake numbers you're seeing being posted. Like, it's all real.
Yeah, but some people can't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You have to have the discipline. You have to put in the work. You have to be
Like,
hungry for it.
A lot of people fail,
Yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
or they just, I don't know what happens. They don't work. But then I compare it to real estate. It's like, I wonder what percentage of people succeed in real estate.
I feel like it's a lot lower than else.
Probably. Like, dude, I looked up in Vegas one time. There was like 5 times the amount of agents than there were houses for sale.
Jeez.
So imagine that.
That would be tough.
Because, I think this business too, it almost pushes you to do some self-development. You know what I mean? It pushes you to be disciplined, right? A lot of people aren't used to working for themselves, right? A lot of people don't have a strong why like that, or that they haven't dug deep to find that within themselves, to have that pushing them. And so it really makes you, at one point in time, it'll make you look at yourself in the mirror and, are you the person that's going to take accountability for your actions, or are you going to blame your manager and everybody else that you failed? This business is solely on you. And you're right. Not everybody can do it because not everybody's going to put in the work. They're not going to ask for coaching. They're not going to get out of their comfort zone, and they're not going to grow and develop. And then, no, you can't do it.
I had this rule every time. Okay, so I got to tell you this story. I went to this appointment in person. Dude answered. Big old dude, no shirt on. Okay. Like, and
He knew you were coming.
he knew I was coming.
That's great.
Big old dude, mean. And he has no shirt on. And I'm just like irritated because I had not made one sale that day. And I go in and I'm like asking him questions and he won't tell me any answers. And I leave and I send the lead to my friend. And I go, if you could sell this guy, I will deem you the best salesperson in the world. That's how bad of a lead it was, okay? The next day, he sends me a picture with the guy, and he has his check and his policy and everything. He went over there and sold him within 1 day.
Dang.
Wow.
Did he have a shirt on this time?
Yeah, he did. And I'm like, dude, what'd you do? How'd you do it? He was like, well, I just was smiling real big. And right when he answered the door, I go, dude, did you play in the NFL or something? Like,
Oh, that'll do it.
and then he said the dude lit up and
Compliments.
started telling him about playing football in high school and blah, 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 blah. And it was over.
Wow.
And so I made this rule, okay? Anybody could be closed. So if I don't close them, I'm going to call someone else that is good at sales, and I'm going to role play the situation with them no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
No,
That's good.
I'm never going to say this person couldn't be closed.
That's good.
So then I
Yeah.
would practice it, role play every single situation, and then use those when I'm calling people back.
That's solid.
And like one of the objections was, what if you're selling a final expense plan and they're going to put more into the policy than the policy's worth in 10 years? right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever got that objection?
Yeah.
What do you guys say?
Well, you could die tomorrow, you know? You don't know what the future
Yeah.
has to bring.
I'll just actually, yeah, I have gotten that. And I honestly, it's kind of same thing. It's like, okay, well, do you have, if the policy is a $10,000 policy, it's like, do you have 10 grand in the bank? Well, no.
Okay, so I called because I kept getting it. I called this dude that's really good, and this is what he said to me. Okay, he's like, okay, let's say the policy's $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
and you're paying $83 a month. So in 10 years, you're gonna put in $1,000. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you live 12 years. Okay, so you put in $2,000 extra dollars than the policy's worth. So for $2,000 extra dollars, if you were to divide that monthly over the entire time, so you divide that by 12 years and then you divide it by 12 again, hold on. So 2,000 over 12 years extra. And then you divide that by 12 again, you're paying $13.88 a month basically to know that if you die today or tomorrow or the next day or in 5 years or in 6 years or in 12 years, that you're guaranteed to have this benefit.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's really good.
That's
Oh,
good,
really
right?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do it on 13 years, you could do it on 14 years, you can do it. So the real cost is not $83 a month, even if you outlived it. It's much, much
Yeah.
less.
That's a really good.
It's
way to put
genius,
it.
right? And then I
Yeah.
used it hundreds of times just by calling people and asking, what do you do in this scenario?
Yeah.
You just called around and were like,
Well, I'd call the good people.
well, yeah. The top producers.
Because
Or,
I was the worst producer.
Were you really?
At first, dude, I had no confidence. None.
Dang.
And don't you think that that's like something that when you go into an appointment, like having that confidence and like sounding like
Oh, and then
confident is huge?
huge. And then after like 5,000 appointments, I would be like, hey, Erica, I'm your new insurance agent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Yeah, grab your policy. I'm going to do a review for you. And they're
That's
like, who are you?
great.
Oh, I'm the guy that helps make sure everyone has the best products and saves them money and gets stuff that fits their needs and their budget. Just go grab your policy and we'll go over everything. Like so confident.
Legit.
It's like, how do you tell someone no that believes they already helped
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, for sure.
And not pushy, and you're just like, hey, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get into that, like, you haven't had a sale in a couple days, and then you just get like really, really salesy, and the client can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Every 3 weeks, my whole career, I'd be like, does this work? Because everyone's telling me no. Like, and I would get in my own head. We call that the doom loop.
Mm-hmm.
You just start thinking worst case scenario. I'm going to go out of business. Have you guys been in the doom loop before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About every 2 weeks.
Yeah. You're like, no, I can't sell anything. The leads don't work anymore. They
Yeah.
worked the last 5 years, but they don't work anymore.
Dude, I had this one time that I was getting back into selling like at a high level. I was like, okay, I'm gonna, I was kind of just, doing recruiting a lot. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to doing, 20, 30, K a month. And I started and I was horrible. And I literally called my mom, Mama D, and I go, dude, maybe I just can't sell anymore. Dude, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I've just have lost my groove and this just isn't me anymore. And then you're seeing all your agents, right? Like write all these bangers and, all these policies. I'm like, here I am. I'm like, I can't sell.
I can't quit.
I can't sell one to save my life, but I can't go anywhere else because I have this team. And then you're just in your own head, and then it's
Bro.
literally like wrote 10 policies the next day. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Then you're back on the top.
Dude, the power of the mind, though, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge because
So-
you can spiral real quick, especially in this business.
Dude, in life in general,
Yeah.
you have to, you just, like, this is what I came up with, and I want to know how you guys get out of the doom loop, okay? So, when I would get in the doom loop, the only thing that would bring me out of it would be making a sale. But I couldn't make a sale because I was so negative. Like, one time, I was in the doom loop, I went on 8 appointments in a row. Every person told me no. Every person listened to everything. Every person needed it. And on the 8th appointment, the people picked the plan they wanted. And I said, "Are you sure you want to look at that one or do you want to look at some other ones?" And then I confused them and they still didn't buy. I drove home looking out the window, staring at the stars, about to cry, thinking like I need to go back and bag groceries and push carts again. And then I'm like, okay, the next day I'm gonna keep going. So I go, and what I learned is even if I'm getting told no, there will be a lay down in there somewhere of someone who will buy no matter what from
Yeah.
anybody. And once you get that lay down, once I would get that lay down appointment, I would break the cycle. So instead of slowing down and like thinking more and doing less, I speed up and I go through
Mhm.
more appointments quicker, even though I'm getting told no more. What do you guys do?
Honestly, the same thing. I think that just pushing through that was literally my mindset. I was like, dude, their agents are selling lay down appointments and they're not even good. Like, I'm gonna get one soon. Like, it's just a matter of time. And then once you have that sale, your confidence just comes back and you're suddenly like, dude, this I can do this. This is the best thing ever. But it's funny you say that because literally even we all do this, right? When you're in that doom loop, you're like, "Ah, I'm just gonna go get a 9 to 5." Like, that just sounds so much better than
Sounds
working for
so good.
yourself. But then you actually think, and I was sitting one day, I'm like, I'm just gonna get a 9 to 5. And I'm like, great. Well, then I have to answer to a boss. Then I have to ask time off. And then you just go and you're like, okay, now I'm just gonna just get back to the phones and work. You make that sale, you're back on best business ever. This is great. Life's good.
What a roller coaster
It
this
really
is.
is.
My friend is like, dude, I feel like a lunatic. I'm like, why? He's like, because one day I'm on top of the world. The next day I'm like, this doesn't work. I need to go get a job.
I know. Yeah.
Literally, for sure. Right after I left Toyota, I was in the doom loop for like a
She
week.
was, yeah.
And I was like, Erica, I'm gonna go beg for my job back. Like, I made a huge mistake. But
This girl wrote like 15 policies and she was like 15 to 20 policies. And she's like, I'm further behind than I did last month. I need to go back to my job. I was like, girl, you just wrote 18 policies. Like, you're good. She's, nope.
so when I was at Toyota, I was always taught because I knew what I had to do to get what I wanted to do for the month. And so coming into this, it's a whole new beast. Like, I'm learning it, and I'm very hard on myself. I'll be completely honest. Like,
We all are.
you
I mean,
know,
most people are.
and so I don't like to fail. I don't like to feel like I let myself down. So not producing what I did the previous month, it does get to you. Like, you're like, why did I do it last month, but I couldn't do it this month? I feel like I did the same exact thing. But I feel like the more you sell, the lazier, not lazy, but the more complacent you get
Yeah.
almost. Like, we talked a lot about following the script. If you don't follow the script, you're going to miss out on things and maybe not build the why enough for the client, So you have to just keep on following that script, making sure that you're not skipping steps.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, but it's easy to get in your own head, We all do it. But it's like one phone call to somebody, one sale, you're back on top of the world.
Yep.
It's true. Even if it's a small one, you're like,
It still works.
It's
I
just
got one.
something I know.
Yeah, it still works.
hmm
That's cool. So I made a sale last week and I
Look at
told them
you.
that I'm gonna send I've always sent thank you cards
Mhm.
and it's handwritten by me, which it's not pretty, but it says thank you for trusting me to protect your family and I look forward to helping you for many years to come, and something really nice because I want persistency and I want them to remember me. But then I told this guy, I go, hey, my uncle Jimmy, who's here, makes homemade salsa. I'm going to send you a jar of homemade salsa. And he's like, if I don't get it, I'm canceling my policy.
Ooh.
Yeah, Larry.
That's so
So, but I've always liked to keep that relationship for retention because
yeah.
this business has it's like a video game, like, and every level gets harder.
Mm-hmm.
So first you learn how to sell, then you learn how to keep the business, good quality business to stay on the books. Do you guys do anything for retention?
I save their birthday in my phone and I'll text them from my cell phone number, happy birthday, hope you're doing great. I'll text them after we get the policy. I should send out thank you cards actually. Mama D keeps telling me I need to do that because she has an amazing persistency and she handwrites. She sends them Christmas cards. Texts them on Christmas every holiday. She's like on top of it. But I think sending out the thank you cards, that's legit because what agent is really going to take time out of their day, to do that? But I'll send them a birthday text, and people, I've upped their coverage on from those, text messages that they're like, hey, actually, can we raise our coverage? Um, so it's good to stay in communication, with your clients for sure.
Yeah.
That's huge. What about you?
I always text them within 10 to 14 days after I sign them up, make sure that they got their packet in the mail for their policy. Obviously, I haven't been doing it a very, very long time. So the birthday thing, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the easiest way to get that organized. But the thank you cards has been on my mind. And you can put business cards in there, other
Yeah.
things.
So the more sales this is what I learned too. The more sales that you make with somebody, the more likely you'll be their agent forever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get 2 sales, 3 sales, and the other thing is it's hard to replace like 3 or 4 policies
Yeah.
than it is 1. So every time I make a sale, my goal is to book, we call this BAM famming, book a meeting from a meeting. And so every week I'm going to sell you, Eric, I'm going to sell you a policy. And through the financial inventory, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. One of them being, what's your why? And I'm going to find out about your grandkids, your kids, all these different things. The second thing being, do you have anything that acts like life insurance? And you're going to identify potential annuity things for me. And we're making a big push on this right now. So I want to share this. So you're going to say, I have a 401k, I have this, that, whatever. And then I'm going to say, okay, Erica, next Tuesday at the same time, because I know they're available at the same time, I'm going to review your policy with you. And then I'm also going to show you what we call the Sleep Well at Night program, which is putting your retirement in a safe place where if the market crashes, you can't lose any money. And I definitely want to take 5 minutes to show you while I'm reviewing your policy. So
Ooh,
I'm
I like
booking an
that.
annuity appointment right from there. And if they don't have that, then I'm looking. Was always a big push for me. You have a son now. I have kids now. Now I understand why people will pay any amount of money to go to Disneyland or any amount of money for their kids because you'd do anything to see your kids happy, right?
Yep.
That's why even people struggling find a way to make Christmas work and Easter
Yeah.
work and all these things because it's so precious. You see your kids smiling. So, and people love their grandkids. So, on top of that, if let's say there's not an annuity opportunity or it doesn't work, I'm also booking booking an appointment from an appointment to sell them a IUL for their kids or grandkids. And I'm running the illustration going, hey, look, for this amount of money, you can set this up for your kid or your grandkid, and people want to do it. They
Yeah.
just don't know about it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like, do you have an IUL on Noah yet?
Not yet because he doesn't have a social security number yet.
Got it.
Yeah.
But you're going to get one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's really good.
and then when you get one, you can show other people, hey,
Well, I
But-
tell people this is something that I'm going to do in the future. Like I plan to do. I don't mind telling people my story.
yeah.
And they're like, oh gosh, I need to do this.
Or like the Moo Children's Whole Life. Okay, someone has 16 grandkids. You can add all 16. They can get a policy that lasts forever. It's as low as like $3 per grandkid, and they can raise their coverage 2 times in their lifetime. So if they get 50K and one of those 16 grandkids gets sick, they can get double at one point in their life. And then at another point in life, they're guaranteed to be able to double that again. So they could have 150K whole life policy for nothing, regardless of their health, for like very little, regardless of their health. Now you add that, and Betty has the policy you gave her and 16 policies on their grandkids. Then someone else calls them and goes, hey, you should look at what I'm doing. What do you think she's going to say?
Okay.
No, she's going to say, I already have an agent. Like
Oh,
I have
yeah, yeah,
seven,
yeah.
I have 17 policies with this agent.
Yeah.
and I don't want to
That's
mess with
true.
it.
Yeah.
Like it's a pain. Like I have all these property and casualty policies on all this crap. I probably could save a bunch of money,
But
but
it's more of a hassle.
dude, but it's a
Yeah.
hassle, you know?
Yeah. That's
Mm.
legit.
But dude, imagine what we could do if we add bam famming every appointment, every sale into another appointment.
Yeah.
I'm going to review the policy with you, but I'll also go over this stuff with you
So you sell the policy and then you book that appointment
at the end.
at the end.
Yeah.
So for when they're gonna have their policy packet, you
Yeah.
can like go over it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's like
That's
seven
brilliant.
7 days later, we're going to do a full review, which is going to help you keep the business on the books, but also you can add on these additional things.
Dude, we're going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legit.
And then if you don't know annuities, the SRS team,
We've been pushing starting annuities. We had,
Dude.
we had this brand new agent, like, had so much anxiety to get on the phone, just sold her first annuity and had a chunk deposited into her account.
a chunk.
A
Dude,
chunk.
My first annuity that I told the guy you can't lose money. He got destroyed in 2008, and he's like, "You can't lose any money." I'm like, "No," and I didn't know anything else. He's like, "Okay, I want to do it." I was like, "Okay, well, I have to go get the illustrations and show you everything," and I did do that. But all he needed to know is that he couldn't lose money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those
who
are,
wants to lose money?
those are powerful words.
Yeah, and then you got, dude, it's so much opportunity, and then agents can be more profitable,
Yeah, 100%.
which is huge. So that's going to be a big push. All right. So what are your goals this year?
For the end of the rest of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. To start recruiting more. I want to grow my business. Like being a part of the lock-in just really motivated me to want more. And being here, this is amazing. It's great. Like, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
And just pushing, like working as much as I possibly can while like work-life balance. But I'd love to protect 40 families next month. Well, this month, I suppose, October. Yeah, so I want to push for high numbers.
What about in like 5 years? What are your goals?
5 years? Gosh. Which goal do I even share? I would love to be, have logo, to have my own agency, to start growing that and travel more, spend as much time as possible as I can, like with my family, have the financial freedom, the freedom of time, just elevate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
grow.
if somebody wanted to work with you, how could they reach you?
I have Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram.
What's your phone number? I can text you.
That's true. That is true.
You want to give them your number?
Yeah. It's 360-975-1105.
So I think some people relate to other people better
Mm-hmm.
than others. And so some people might have a similar story or background or go, this person's really genuine and sincere, and I'd like to learn from them. So if you're watching this, you can call her or text her. And even if you're not licensed, she can help you get licensed. She can help you go through everything. She can help you with schedules. You could join their Level Up if you're brave enough to join their Level Up group.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to be brave for that.
You got to be brave for
We're
that,
cutthroat.
or you'll
Mhm.
get kicked out.
Get
Yep.
booted. 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for sharing. I'm excited, and it's awesome to work with good people like you guys.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah,
100%,
I
yeah.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And let's continue to grow. And if you're watching, we have in a couple days. Who else do we have getting on here?
Adam Mostel. Dude, he's a beast.
So he,
Referral king.
the referral king.
Referral king, yep.
Yeah. You can learn a
Crushing
lot
it.
from him. Yeah.
He was a musician, drummer.
Wow.
Yep. COVID happened and he just protects 40 families a month. He's a savage.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in a couple days, we'll be live with him. And then we have some of these fall sales conferences coming up October 23rd, Las Vegas. Did you go to any of these trainings, and did they help you?
So we've done a couple lock-ins. I haven't specifically been to the trainings yet because I was working the other job. But yeah, plan to go to this one here coming up soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.